Hello. Alrighty, I'm gonna need some help from you guys today. You're gonna have to tell me, does the screen look blurry at all? Been having some technical issues getting the stream going today. I don't know what's been going on with the internet. I went ahead and I thought I fixed it. I thought I fixed it like 3 or 4 hours ago, the problem. And then as soon as I go and start the stream, it just pops right on back up. And I'm like, oh no, this is going to hell. Anyways, the show will go on. So far, yeah, still no camera. Yeah, there isn't going to be a camera for a good bit here. But the camera will be back. No ETA yet on the camera. Yeah. Well, it's nice to hear that the screen looks fine. Thank you for that, Ari. Okay. So first, let's get into kind of the notes for today. And hopefully this will be easy enough for you guys to see. Besides, I'll be reading this out more or less. These are the day ahead notes. So this is kind of like a review of, okay, here's the information that we've got so far since yesterday's stream. So this is just an update on what has happened so far. We got another article. Remember I did that whole thing in last stream talking about, hey, we have all these pieces coming out about Trump doing gradual tariffs, and Trump came out and he said, yeah, right here, about 3 hours after Washington Post said we have 3 anonymous sources that Trump plans to implement some kind of lower tariff rate. And 3 hours later, Trump comes out and says, yeah, that's fake news. So that was January 6th that came out. I remember trading that. That was hilarious. There's good fade. But now, today, Bloomberg released a whole nother article. And this is the article right here. The Trump team studies gradual tariff hike under emergency powers. And so here's kind of the more important quote. You can go ahead and read that, but the 2 useful pieces of information from this article that are new is the tariffs can be implemented in a ramp up month by month, so a monthly frequency, not like a super fast weekly frequency or super slow quarterly frequency. It's just like, okay, once a month, a ramp up. Okay, that's good. And the ramp ups could be about 2 to 5% per month on whatever the tariff is. So it's nice to get these specifics, right? Because we didn't get these kinds of numbers out of the Washington Post article. It was just like, oh, Trump could do a 10% tariff on targeted goods instead of 20. It wasn't all that useful. However, in this article, we get a little bit more specifics. Now, I probably would have leaned on the side of the leakers having useful information if this Bloomberg article came out first instead of the Washington Post article, because it has more specifics. However, Trump came out and refuted that these discussions, that these gradual talks were going on. So as far as I know, this is like blatant manipulation going, like something really fishy is going on here. Either Trump is lying to us, or maybe there is something going on that he doesn't know about as far as tariff negotiations and his own team, which doesn't look pretty good. Or this is just someone related to such and such a person who knows a guy. And this is just manipulation, people getting news out, trying to move stuff intentionally. That was my speculation when the WAPO article came out, and now this is kind of my speculation with this Bloomberg article, another gradual tariffs story. And by the way, I'll be sharing this little note here in the trading group. So if you're in the trading group, you'll get a copy of this note with the quotes and the links and all that. So in case you just want the note instead of watching the whole stream, you can just get the note. Because we're going to be going over these notes every day. So then we can keep track of, okay, here's what we were thinking. Here were the major news events. Here's, bosses like tidbit little commentary on it. And then we'll go over a couple of charts and see how that impacts what we're thinking. Now, USD/JPY had some interesting moves in the last few hours, right? Not a huge deal. This is probably freaking some people out. That probably FOMO'd some people in. But considering what I know now after reading Himeno's stuff, after reading his press conference, the two conferences of the two press interviews he had, and then some of the commentary from some other people, I would stay pretty much long this, but it's kind of dicey because it seems like the odds of a rate hike on the 30th, right, for the Bank of Japan are going to go up by the end of the day now. So just first off, we mentioned this yesterday, the Economy Watchers survey. This is a sentiment survey in Japan. It's improving in some areas, and in some areas it's not doing so much. But a gauge of firm sentiment on economic outlook fell 0.6 percentage points. So it's like the PMIs where you want to be above 50. 50 is growing, and then below 50, 50 is bad. They were we're just at 50 for the overall index, and then the year ahead outlook, the economic outlook for these same companies fell. So that's not great. However, the reason for this economic outlook falling is actually kind of good for the Bank of Japan, as higher prices of fuel and food weighted on consumption was one of the main reasons for this section, this sub-index of this sentiment index survey falling. So inflation expectations are slightly rising in Japan, which is good. Again, let me know if everything is all well and good on the stream, because it looks like I'm getting some data issues. We don't want to have data issues. Anyways, let's go into like the meat and potatoes here, the stuff that actually is going to probably impact dollar yen. So Himeno is in between Bloomberg's hawkish dovish scale healer. He's this guy right here at the bottom. So when he came out and he did his press conference, a lot of, if I have financial juice still here. Let's see here, Himeno. Let's see here, see strong wages this year. Himeno, main scenario for U.S. growth, expects U.S. economy to stay strong. Long-term interest rates won't affect policy decision. Gradual rise in certainty towards the meeting outlook. Likelihood of economy and price aligning with forecasts increasing gradually. Japan's economy aligns with Bank of Japan's outlook. Importance of timing and policy shift. Himeno says it's difficult to determine the right timing for a policy change. BOJ must change policy without delay when the time comes. So, he's still kind of being up in the air, unclear if inflation risks are biased to the upside or the downside. However, he did give us one little hint. There should be a section here. I believe I copied it somewhere. Yeah, the recent rise in oil. This is all. I didn't quite get to. I kind of ran out of time on doing some of these notes here. We're going to be talking about this next. But the main focus here is going to be on this little segment right now. BOJ Himino's import prices show significant month-on-month increase on yen-dominated basis, which essentially just says, hey, you guys know how oil has been doing this? How it's been doing an up and to the right sort of deal. It's gone up effectively $8, $6, right? It's been doing pretty well since the beginning of the year, right? We started at, call it 72, and crude oil made it to 79 here, so we're up $7 from the open to the high here. So this is going to be slightly inflationary. This is going to be good. And considering that sentiment survey that we just went over, the outlook already is, hey, the cost of fuel, higher fuel prices and food prices are bringing part of the index down, the economic outlook part of the index down for Japan. That's actually pretty good. So when Himino goes ahead and points out and says, hey, guys, there's other things other than wages in Japan to look at as important for how the Bank of Japan is going to be interpreting and setting its own inflation expectations here. So Himino is kind of being wishy-washy in his stuff. You know, don't get me wrong. We have the rest of this article here. I think it was, I already put it here, the board. This is from the Bloomberg article. The board will have discussion to decide whether to raise policy rate or not based on the outlook to be compiled. Now, that's actually kind of important. Based on the outlook to be compiled. Gee, Himino, well, which outlook are you talking about here? Let's see. Yeah, it seems like Himino wants us to focus on the Bank of Japan's quarterly economic outlook, which he will be presenting. That comes later this month, January 23rd to the 24th. And this is the actual page. I'll go ahead and post this in the chat so you guys just have it. That's the page to look out for shortly here. Like this quarterly outlook. Well, what Himino is essentially saying is, guys, I have this one thing to say about making sure you're looking at other parts of the economy, not just wages that could be impacting inflation in Japan, right? Look at import prices, right? Look at the survey, right? The focus is now becoming more broad on where the inflationary pressures are in Japan. All right, just more commentaries getting focused on that. And he's saying, hey, for the BOJ as a whole, for how we actually are going to be implementing our policy, stay tuned for the outlook. That's probably where you'll get the most squeeze here. So we're going to be watching this over the calendar period ahead. Let me go ahead and actually pull up a calendar real quick. We want maybe for the month. So that would be on, I believe, the 23rd. Thursday. Yep. I got it right here. I'm going to pull it up on my trusty calendar here. Yep, right there. BOJ interest rate decision. Right here. Got it already in my calendar. And the BOJ quarterly outlook. Actually, I got to double check if that's the correct date for the interest rate decision. I really got to double check. Okay. So that's pretty much the main shebang. As far as this section goes, I'm just saying, hey, when this guy, Williams, John Williams, speak, the guy who's the president of the New York Fed, when he speaks and his stuff starts coming down financial juice, let's see if anything has. Nope. When Williams comes down the pike and starts giving his speech, he's going to be the one listened to the most closely. There are going to be other central bankers giving speeches. You have Barkin and Goolsbee. You have a few others who are giving their speeches as well. And they'll be important to listen to, but every calendar has Williams' speeches marked and labeled. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of pairs. Anyone got any suggestions? Anyone got any suggestions? And it looks like Euro is holding in there. Just fell 13 pips and rocketed right on back. There's been a lot of talk about Bitcoin falling and rotating. A lot of people had bearish expectations on Bitcoin right around here. CryptoFace had bearish expectations here. Tone Vase had bearish expectations here. And I saw Trader Nick go bullish. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I want to trade against CryptoFace and Tone Vase here on Bitcoin, but good luck, Nick. Let's see here. Year. Gotcha. Man, oh man. Dude, I seem to be dropping quite a few frames here. Here, let me see. Okay. There we go. My little hit my sound wave thing was frozen for some reason. That's weird. Again, taking requests at the moment, and this will probably these daily streams are going to be much shorter. Let's see here, because we gotta move on. Also, after the streams, I'm gonna be hanging out in the Plan the Profit Discord trading room for like a few hours, and usually while we wait, like we did in the last stream, actually, we decided, hey, we're gonna start doing paper poker, through GTO Wizard. So you go to GTO Wizard, and you hit the play button. This thing. And it's all fake money. And you get to play different kinds of game modes. You can make your own game mode. And it's just copy link. And then you can have a bunch of guys all sit down and play a nice friendly game of poker. And because this is also GTO Wizard, you can go and do studies like this on a range builder. Practicing poker can be really, really good for your trading psychology, for your internal, you could say, estimates of risk. Let's see here. What else? Aussie yen, New Zealand cat. Let's go for it. I was typing AZ, or what? Okay, so what we understand right now is not a whole lot going on in. I mean, we are seeing steel improve. I saw a headline actually in Bloomberg today talk about how there's more steel being imported into China now. So that would be good for Australia on the Australian side of this. Um, However, considering the tightening and depending on how hawkish the outlook is from the Bank of Japan, and considering we're already starting to see the outlook definitively expect higher prices in Japan on the business side of things from that sentiment survey we just got, I'd expect there to be a more negative drift on this. The pressures from the Bank of Japan tightening policy is a bit stronger than the commodity side of the Australians moving stuff. Unless China like really kicks it into high gear, but all the expectations for China this year is that they are not going to be growing at even close to as strong as they have been. So Australia is not going to get that China boost. So it has to get the economic boost from somewhere else. So it has to get that economic boost from maybe the employment side. I'm not actually terribly certain on what specifically to look at. If I need to be looking at like wage inflation, headline inflation, um, I have to like kind of catch up again on my Aussie side of stuff. But that's what I know. That's the context of what I know so far on the Aussie yen. So I implicitly would put more of like a sideways, slightly down bearish bias on this as my future expectation. But I'm totally willing to look up some new information to change that expectation. Let's go ahead and check out that other one, New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD. CAD. Yeah. Wow. This thing's been just straight down. Fantastic. It's look how easy this thing has been since October of last year. Oh man. Well, it's only 500 pips. That's actually not a whole lot. I mean, the reason why I say okay, 500 pips not a whole lot over this time frame specifically. If you go to euro dollar over that same time period, and once the chart actually loads, like this is 930 pips, like over the same time period. So you can kind of see why I'm like, oh, that's like, don't get me wrong, it's a good move, but and it's a probably much lower volatility move. Looks a lot less autocorrelated too, but really you'd only be trading this to get a particular look on the statistics of your portfolio, or if you specifically needed as a business to hedge these sorts of things. Don't get me wrong, when New Zealand is moving a lot, actually, a really good pair to look at today is New Zealand yen, because New Zealand moved a lot today, and Australia and Japan moved a lot today. If you look at the FX heat map, here you have all this New Zealand. Let's see here, New Zealand in green. You want to look at the rows, not the columns. So New Zealand's all here in green. And it looks like New Zealand actually had the best performance against the pound. Great British Pound, New Zealand. Wow, check that out. Check that out. The thing's just totally rotated. What a killer strong move. That's 600 pips. That's a lot. Here we can probably zoom in a little more. You guys probably like that. That's probably a little easier to see. New Zealand CAD. Man, I'd say it just continues for now. I don't see a reason for it to change unless there are tariffs that are actually implemented on the Canadian economy. On the announcement of Canadian tariffs, short CAD is like kind of a given at that point based on that expectation. So, long New Zealand CAD is just a gimme, right? Hey, Max. Nice to see you. Alrighty. Anything else here that pops up at you guys? Again, New Zealand yen is right here. New Zealand yen. Again, New Zealand yen. Any that start with like a 0.3? Let's check out the euro pairs. Yeah, euro pound. Let's go ahead and check that one out. Whoa. That is a lot. 130 pips in the last 4 days. It's been quite volatile, right? And the yield spreads have been improving here. However, this still looks pretty bad. It's mostly short-term stuff here. Let's go ahead and look at it for the month. Wow, this thing is kind of in no man's land right now. How about seasonally? How's this thing panning out? Well, that's probably the low for the month. Well, considering that is most likely the low for the month, let's go ahead and check out the timing dots. Let's go ahead and put a 2 in there. So we get the, okay, I think I see where we're going. Quite a high degree of variability, right? So this is like 84.5 to 86. I mean, there's a decent number of dots kind of clustered around here, so I wouldn't be so unkeen as to say it goes and hits 85 and crosses 85 and finds the high way up here, but we're gonna have to see. I don't know what you mean, Max, by in. So yeah, we're gonna have to see how the timing here works out. That's honestly, it's kind of a stretch. I personally don't know what could cause it to move that high. Maybe you know the why, but mostly I'm looking at this and I'm saying it's already kind of in like low probability space. Like this is an ice skating rink. When I look at this and I see this is all flat here, like I like getting trades in at these red peaks, right? Like short or exits, right? When you start getting these like long flat areas, this is like an ice skating rink. The price can just slide and you don't know exactly how far it's going to slide. This is the inverse of a falling knife. That's the simple way of putting it. And it's nice at least having a tool that can point out and say like, hey, there's danger there. Don't screw around. Don't bet big. Oh man, good stuff. Let's go ahead and switch this to the high side. I'm pretty sure this isn't going to catch anything. Yeah, so over, I don't know, we can go ahead and throw on the table and get some statistics here. Yeah, most of the time this thing tops out around here or tops out around here. Never in the last 22 years of euro pound. In the last 22 years, the last 22 times we have traded the month of January, the top for the month has never come in above this R 2.5 pivot point. Just hasn't. That's just the seasonal statistic. So, I mean, there is this one all the way up here past R5, which is conveniently around the spot where we looked at for the dots, which say, hey, going to maybe 85 ain't like totally unheard of here. And these dots are non-seasonal data. They're more conditional data, right? Based on the low. These are the highs that you get. So that's all well and good to see. I don't have any other tricks kind of up my sleeve. You can look at the cones and you can just see how crazy that's been. So, I mean, if you use cones, maybe it comes up to here, but I mean, these cones, I'm not as huge as a fan as I once was when I first made them. I gotta get an update out for those things. I gotta get an update out for those cones. Updates out for all my indicators. I'm working on it. I'm always working on it. Okay. So I don't have too much else to say unless you guys have other suggestions for me to look at stuff or to give commentary on. Maybe we have some breaking news if I refresh financial juice here. Oh, okay. What is going on here? Oh, for a second I thought like there's a third article on tariffs. Like, nope. This is just financial juice saying, hey, the world is reacting to this Bloomberg article that we had earlier today saying, oh, Trump is going to do gradual tariffs. I'm not sold on it, right? I already know what Trump said on January 6th in response to the WAPO article, so I'm just saying this is bunk. Again, it's a very, very easy thing to say. I swear to God, if I type that in and there's actually a ticker. Okay, I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, it's a shit coin. Yeah, it's a shit coin. Oh my God. Oh God, I don't even know which one to do for this. Oh my God, look at this. See, that's what happens, Ari, when you mistype stuff. I end up looking at shit coins instead of looking at an economic indicator. Oh, my good shit. All right, so for PPI, let's go to the economic calendar here. So PPI is coming in here in 30 minutes. I don't know if I want to keep the stream going for another 30 minutes. I'm going to be hanging out in the Discord with you guys and anybody who wants to play any GTO poker. Yeah, what do again, I'm not huge on setting expectations when it comes down to PPI. PPI can move stuff. It doesn't always move things. The main issue with trading this PPI, and this kind of was just brought to my attention earlier today, is this article from Bloomberg. Traders brace for S&P's busiest CPI since March 23. And real quick, I'm going to find the spot here. Yeah, the S&P is expected to move 1% in either direction. For a sense of what's on the line, the reading rivals the implied move on the Federal Reserve's upcoming decision is higher than the next jobs report on February 7th. Traders expect the CPI figures will offer clarity on future rate cuts this year from the Fed, as several big banks have changed their forecasts to fewer or later starting reductions, with B of A now saying they expect no reductions. The shift in tone has helped drive stocks lower. So it's very, very simple. CPI is a lot more important. We now see some large long put positions, so essentially short from a higher price, below that, so just below 5,900. And I think that's, yeah, you can't really see it here. So if CPI is hot, then we could see the S&P 500 rate of decline increase. So S&P could fall faster from here, which would also make the VIX jump, which would also make the US dollar also jump. So you can kind of see, maybe you can kind of forgive me here. That's kind of why I'm not terribly focused on PPI here. I got more of a focus on the CPI here, and it looks like the forecast is that it's going to come out at 0.2, right? It's expected to come out at 0.2. The last 4 came out at 0.3. So we could very, very easily end up with, if we actually get a 0.2, that would be good. It would show inflation isn't like reaccelerating and it's kind of staying flat, which would be good. But if you get another 0.3 or anything above 0.3, if you get 0.4, if the headline is 0.4, DXY nutso. DXY will probably go to like 111 incredibly, like over the span of the next like 10 trading days will definitely be trading around the 111s. Because the expectation will be for the FOMC to stay on pause at that point, because inflation is reaccelerating. So you could see, okay, everyone has ants in their pants about the next CPI here. So with that all said and done, I think we're all good with the stream and the information today. So again, if you want to hang out afterwards, go to the link in the description, go to the WAP store, and from the WAP store, you can get to the Plan to Profit Discord. And if you're already in the Discord, just hop into one of the voice chats. I'll be in there like really, really shortly. I'm just going to get some water. And we'll do a friendly game of poker. And this is fake money, by the way. This ain't real money. I'll go ahead and I'll actually post a link to this in the trading room. So if you guys want to hop in to the trading room and then check out the trading room voice chat here, the link to the poker game is already in there. Yeah, sure. I'll drop the link in here too. Just make sure you guys hop into the Discord if you want to come in and play with us. And we'll start doing this. We'll do 2 or 3 rounds after every stream, just as a little tradition, just like a quick game. Because most of the time these games take like 2 to 5 minutes. Like they're not a huge time commitment. Yeah, the Discord link. You got to join through the WAP site, so the bot can give you all this stuff. So you go here. Here's the link. So you go there and you click on Join Discord, and it will let you join it's one way I keep the bots out of the Discord. Ever since I started doing this, like forcing people to go through WAP before joining the Discord, it has prevented so much spam. I've had to deal with so much less spam in the Discord. It's so much better. So many. I have not had someone try to impersonate me in several months on Discord. In Discord, I don't get it. There's so many people trying to impersonate me, impersonate Ivan. I mean, anyone who's anyone gets impersonated on Discord. So this is just like a low effort barrier to keep bots the hell away from my Discord. So yeah, we'll be doing this in a moment, and all you got to do is you have to click on the sit button and type in your name, and you'll be in there. And we'll go ahead and play a game once we're through. And if anything market related does come up, we can always talk markets while we play a little bit of poker in the background, manage some trades, get a little social gathering going. Alrighty, you guys. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. And, hopefully I don't have an internet problem and another delay tomorrow, but, we'll see how it all goes. So, in the meantime, I will see you guys in a bit. Let me just get the transition going. Oh no, I'm not totally ready to end the stream yet. Alrighty, guys, in a bit. I'll see you in Discord in like 2 minutes. Just hop in the poker game.